Last night, the unthinkable happened. Alek Manoah allowed 6 runs on 7 hits and only lasted a third of an inning before being pulled. Oh, wait, that doesn't really sound too unrealistic. Unfortunately, it's another tragic chapter for Manoah in 2023, and it's the Jays' 9th loss in his last 10 starts. It's depressing because the once ace of the pitching staff is now a liability, and a lot of people have been wishing for his demotion to the minor leagues. It's actually something we've seen before by the Jays when one of their younger pitchers start to struggle, Ricky Romero and Roy Halladay to name a couple. But when asked about whether or not this is a possibility, John Schneider replied saying, "We'll see, we haven't brought it up." He then went on to say, "We're talking about a really good pitcher who's going through a little bit of a tough time. The cool thing about this team and organization is, yeah, we're willing to do anything that we feel like we need to do to help you and players understand that too. But as of now though, no." He may just be keeping things private from the media, but it sounds like the decision to send him down could become a real possibility. Making the next question, who should take the mound every 5th day? Because looking at the minors' depth, there isn't really much. So let's try and uncover some options for the Jays. And looking externally, there are 2 guys who could be of service. The first one being Zach Plesac. For Plesac, he was recently DFA'd by the Guardians after a difficult start to the 2023 season, with a 7.59 ERA through 5 starts. Although he does have a decent FIP of 4.5, which is just like his career norm. And from 2018 to 2022, he had an ERA just over 4 in 78 starts. He would be more like a band-aid fix for the Jays because while Manoah is maybe on a ghost IL stint or in the minor leagues, Plesac may not be able to be serviceable at the major league level, but it would give time for Manoah to potentially figure things out. Moving on to the next man, and that is Chris Archer. The 2-time All-Star is an interesting name because of his history in the AL East, but he hasn't pitched at all in 2023, so he should be viewed as a last resort to come in and immediately pitch in the majors. But again, he could buy some much needed time for Manoah. Another possible external solution is a guy I talked about in a previous video, and that man is Jaime Barria. He's more of a guy come deadline time that the Angels would trade because as of now they're not totally out of it, and they won't want to sell this early in the last year of Shohei Ohtani. But it is interesting to note, and I'll leave the link to that video in the description for you to watch after this one. Now looking internally, the Jays have a few guys in the minor leagues that could come up, those being Bowden Francis, Zach Thompson, and Casey Lawrence. Unfortunately, these 3 guys aren't the biggest names, but Bowden Francis is an interesting name because he, Nate Pearson, and Trevor Richards could take a bullpen type day. That means Francis 3 innings, Pearson with 2, and Richards with 2. It's far from ideal, but it may be the best option they have internally to eat up innings. It's just unfortunate because the Jays' best pitching prospects are pretty far away. Ricky Tiedemann is at AA and has been dealing with a bicep injury this year, and he probably won't be up till the 2024 season. Yosfer Zulueta is also a promising name currently at AAA, and he's a guy that could be up by the end of the season, but again, he probably won't be making an impact at the major league level until 2024. And lastly, Adam Kloffenstein, who is having his best season at AA, but he's still a ways away from the major leagues. The Jays also have Hyunjin Ryu, who could be coming back from injury within the next 6 weeks, but he can't be relied on to go out and throw 6 innings immediately after dealing with such a difficult injury. And there you have it. These are, I believe, the biggest options for the Jays if they want to take action and move Manoah out of the rotation. But what do you guys think the Jays should do with Manoah? Because they can't keep getting more starts like his last one. The Jays had to burn 6 relievers in the first of a 4-game series versus the reigning champions, which hurts them significantly for the rest of the series, especially if Gausman isn't able to go deep in the ballgame tonight. And of course, if you love the Jays as much as I do, then make sure to subscribe. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and you will surely not want to miss out on all the content I have in store for you as the season goes on. And for our next video, we will be going over the biggest All-Star Game candidates the Jays have. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you in the next video.